Good afternoon, Year 2, and welcome to our 5th lesson in our landscapes, our art lesson. Right, so today you're going to need your ideas board from the last few weeks. So you had, she had the one when you collected your ideas from your artists, the ideas you want to use. And then your ideas board from when we were exploring our paintwork and our colours and our shading last week. And you're going to need another piece of paper or your sketch pad. And if you've got any colours, that would be great. Anything you've got at home, paints, crayons, felt tips, or colouring pencils. But if you haven't got any, that's absolutely fine because we're going to be doing some shading as well. Right, okay. Now, in a moment, we're going to be starting our landscape picture using Georgia O'Keeffe's work as inspiration. But just before that, you have spent so long and you've learned so much about your different artists. I wonder if you could have a look at these pictures, these 6 pictures, and identify which artist painted which picture. And can you explain the vocabulary down here that we've been building over the last few weeks to explain and describe what you can see? So we've got landscape, colour, muted, pale, vivid, vibrant, space, detail, form, the shapes that the artists have painted, tone, how light and dark something is, shade, perspective, how near or far something is, the distance, the background, things that are far, far away, and the foreground, the things that are closer to you, and natural, realistic, modern, and dreamlike. Okay, take a few moments, see if you can sort the paintings into the 2 different artists' work. Okay, how did you do? Did you realise that Georgia O'Keeffe up here painted these 3 pictures and Beatrix Potter painted these 3? And I'm so confident that you'd be able to sort those 2 styles, that modern way of painting, that dreamlike way of painting with this more naturalistic way of painting, that I've even popped in a couple of pictures that you hadn't seen before. This one here, The Lake District by Beatrice, and this one over here by Georgia O'Keeffe. Okay, right, now we are going to start our own masterpieces. Okay, so we're going to take Georgia O'Keeffe's work today as our inspiration. Now, don't forget, you need to, if you are going to do any painting, again, you have got any water, you need to make sure you finish this video, turn your device off and move it right out of the way, because we don't want any water and electricity anywhere near each other. Okay, so let's swap over to our camera. There we go. Now, different artists start in different ways. Now, today we're going to do a smaller version, okay, of what Georgia's going to do. Okay, right, so of what we're going to do, a smaller version. Right, so some artists start with the background, things that are further away. Some artists start with the foreground, the things that are closer to you. I am going to start at the back, so I am going to think back to my ideas. Now, I thought that Georgia split her work up into 3 pieces. There we go. See over here. So I'm just going to roughly split it into thirds. 1, 2, 3. Right. So I'm going to start at the background, and I'm going to not press too heavily. I'm just going to draw the outline of my mountains. And I'm going to come to the middle ground. Things that I see that would be in front of that. And I'm going to draw those. Now, I have decided I quite liked the idea of this stream that she put in, this Lake George, this lake. So I'm going to pop that across the front of my picture. Okay. And remember, she painted these sort of blobby, bobbly little trees, very dream-like looking. Even though they didn't look like realistic trees, you could tell that's what they were. Reflections, and then I liked those fuzzy trees, so I'm going to put those right at the front. I'm actually blending several of her paintings together and adding my own details as well. Right, okay, so I've got a very rough outline. Okay, now I'm going to put a bit more detail in. So I remember that her mountains have these quite jagged looking ridges. So I'm just going to make the middle ground mountains a little bit so that we can see them. You take a lot longer than this, over. Okay, so I've added a bit of detail. Now I am going to start with a little bit of shading. Okay, so I'm going to start at the back. Now this is if you're just going to stay with a pencil, which is absolutely fine. So I'm going to go do this bit over here. I'm going to go over the outline so you can see it. Okay, now I'm going to come down to these ridges. Okay. I am going to do quite a thick line using some contour shading to show where the light doesn't really hit, because these are quite deep ridges. Okay, now from that, ever so slightly, a little bit lighter, and you can build it up and build it up. I'm going to use some sort of random shading going on here. Okay, a bit lighter, it sort of comes down in stripe. And then I'm going to do a little bit lighter again. I'm just going to build that up. Take your time doing that until eventually, how do you see it? That's where the lighter part would be. You see, you can carry on like that, you get those bumps and grooves. Okay, so you can carry on and you can do your shading throughout all of the picture. So if you're going to do the stippling that we looked at, so I'm going to do to show these round blobby trees, I'm going to start off. It's not going to be much light on this part. I'm going to follow the shape of the circle, and then I'm going to do it a little bit lighter, spread it out a little bit. A bit lighter again, a little bit lighter again, a little bit lighter again. Eventually, you'll build up your whole picture. Okay, so if you're going to stick with pencil and do shading, carry on like that. I had a go a bit earlier with some watercolours over here. Let's go back to my shading as well. So I started off with my deep purple. She loves that deep dreamlight purple, didn't she? Without very much water on my paintbrush, and then I did a little bit more water, a little bit more until it got lighter and lighter and lighter. That's one idea. And then another idea which worked quite well for George's paintings were using crayons. So very quickly I'll show you how I did it. You can have a go. So started off with your main ridges, outline, press really hard, really thick dark line. Next one you do, press a little bit less hard against contouring, following the line, and then a little bit less hard again. A little bit less hard until it gets really, really pale. And that is where you can see that the light will be falling on mountains. Do a little bit over here. So I'm going to add on a little bit of my wispy, floaty trees. Which crane's not playing properly. There we go. It's pressed quite heavy to start off. I remember looking at that green picture that she had. There are so many different greens in it. I think I'm going to actually blend different greens together. So right at the foreground now, one side, just the front of my picture. Okay. Different green now. Okay, guys, that's just an idea, a few ideas of how you might want to put your Georgia O'Keeffe landscape together. All right, so I'm going to leave you now. I look forward to seeing how you get on. You take a photograph and send it to us on Dojo. It'd be fantastic. Okay, so you carry on now until you've coloured, you've shaded and added detail, and you coloured in the whole of the picture, including the background, because Georgia did not leave any spaces. We'll make paint. There were no mountains floating in midair. Okay, right. Have fun. See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.